You know what? Sometimes you don't want to go down the road of just gut-wrenching existential horror. You don't want to go down the road of just utter haunting terror, nightmare, zombie apocalypses, and just utter disaster scenarios. Sometimes you just want a cute Yuri Onsen vacation. Sometimes you just want something wholesome and good. So I'm playing this game for me. This is Death Becomes You, a Yuri Onsen vacation by Quill Game Studios. This was released for the Spooktober 2023, and this is a side story sequel content connected to a larger visual novel put out by Quill Game Studios called, as you might guess, Death Becomes You. Now, Death Becomes You, if you haven't played that game, I earnestly recommend you give it a shot. Because Death Becomes You is advertised as a murder mystery set in a magical university. It's advertised as a murder mystery where your best friend, your mentor, your senior in the magical university turns up dead. Worse yet, you discover her death. You discover her dead. You suspect her classmates, friends, comrades, and whatnot. And you have to go around, investigate them, try and figure out what's going on, try and figure out why she died, and whatnot. And if I can give an honest, heartfelt review of Death Becomes You, it's advertised as a magical murder mystery, but just the emotional through line of this game will surprise you, will grip you in best possible way. It's very much a game about grief, a game about mourning, a game about healing. Game about different people processing grief and trauma in different ways. And I very much recommend you give that a shot. This, a Yuri Onsen vacation, actually stars one of the couples from Death Becomes You, Sophie and Alice. And we are assuming that this takes place after their best ending, where they end up together properly, growing past the events of the main game, growing past, finally growing together, blossoming, and now going on a cute onsen vacation. Let us begin. Without further ado. Oh, voice. Oh, hang on a minute. Let me, yoink. Yoink. It's the fall break and Sophie has some time off. We're on our way to the Yuri Onsen Hotel, situated at the mountains of ZB. Thing is, it's been such a long time since I've seen Sophie. I'm a bit shy. There's a bit of distance between us. We aren't holding hands like we used to at school. Catch a glance at Sophie as we walk up the hewn stone steps. Her always serious expression is the same as usual, and she stares ahead with her back straight. Her eyes are so bright and soft that I want to look deeply into them, but that'd be hard to do on these steps. I'd have to walk backwards. Her hair is silky as usual. I think it's got more of a mature sweep than when we were students. Her figure stands out against the lush forest backdrop. With magic, she effortlessly levitates all of our luggage, one of which is hers. A smaller leather duffel, a larger carry-on luggage with my belongings. I didn't know she's so minimalist when traveling. It's our first adult trip, after all. After we graduated, I mean. Suddenly, Sophie looks me right in the eye, holding eye contact.
You've been staring a lot, Alice. Take a picture. It'll last longer.
She smirks, but it's without malice.
Just kidding, though. I like it when you stare.
I can't help it, Sophie.
I finally cling onto her arm. Oh!
I'm really excited for this.
She pinches her nose with 2 fingers.
It's been a while since I've been able to fully relax since I started that research position. And it's even better since it's with you.
Aww. You only grin and snuggle closer.
I'm looking forward to it too.
Yeah. We're in a hotel room after I checked in for us. It's the type of hotel room with a queen-sized bed. The hotel has other types of rooms, including those with tatami floors, but they were all booked out.
Which side do you want to sleep on?
I'm not sure. Any side that you want to sleep on?
I think I used to sleep on the left side when we were in your dorm room. But maybe I could try sleeping on the right side this time.
Hey, change is good.
Sure.
I busy myself unzipping my luggage and taking out some pajamas and setting it on the bed.
Are you planning to shower or something?
Not yet. Just tidying up a little. It feels better to get my stuff out, you know?
Of course, just curious.
Yeah.
It's fun to see your little habits I haven't seen before.
I hope we can learn more and more about our habits once we can live together again.
Aw.
Me too.
One thing I'm learning is how you've become more shy than before.
Oh.
It's because you've become good at flirting. I've been out of practice since you've been gone from the academy.
Fair.
I think that's on you. I haven't been practicing either.
Walk around the bed to where she's standing and snuggle up to her.
It's just called being honest, since the one I love is in front of me. Not something to practice. But you can practice a lot right now while we're here.
Sophie pouts and looks away, but then looks back at me and leans her head on me.
I can, yes. I can get used to this.
I hum as I hug her waist. A few minutes later. I'm sitting at the living room table doing a quick check on my online store.
Oh, I planned to be offline during vacation, but I gotta pee. Sorry, Sophie. I promise I'll be done in 10 minutes.
I unpack a few sample products from my luggage. In order to answer some of the questions from customers, I have to have the item in front of me and use it so I can double check. The product at hand is my best-selling Find Your Lost Thing Elemental Powder. It is something we find Sophie spending so many times at school, and it's spread to our friends and then to the whole school. The first time Sophie met Sydney, one of our friends, was because Sydney had used it to find Sophie. Sydney is the main character of the first of Death Becomes You, by the way.
No problem. It's been doing really well after all. You must be getting a lot of questions about the products.
Yeah, they're always asking about how to use this and that, but that's understandable. They just want to make sure it works for whatever they're doing. I started writing some articles for frequently asked questions, and that's been super helpful.
Yeah, I gotta build up the FAQs and knowledge base.
That's awesome. Let me know if there's any way I can help.
You've helped a lot already, helping me set up the store.
It seemed like something you were passionate about doing, since you've always been good at making those elemental charms, and were already selling them at school. Why not let them be ready for the world?
Yes, entrepreneur queen.
And look at you now. You've made it so successful.
You still helped. Oh, and speaking of, maybe one day we can invent more elemental recipes together. Anything you're doing on that in your research?
I've been focusing on my psychokinesis research, so not much in elementals. I've been collaborating with Apolline recently, though, so maybe.
Aww, for how long? Is that why you've become more mellow and shy?
Apolline's a mellow and shy friend of ours who's a simp for her partner, Daniela, the other couple from Death Becomes You. I want to say Daniela was the student council president originally. Appeline's assistant to the Daniela Defense Squad.
Not for that long. Plus, we're both really busy. I don't hang out with her.
Sophie's flustered look makes me want to tease her even more.
Where's the Sophie that's always so sure of herself and full of snark?
Oh. I know that she's still there, just that she's only showing the softer side to me.
So that's what it is. You've still been spending more time with Appeline. Who knows what else could have changed?
You fiend.
It's just professional. Plus, she's not my type.
Oh. Uh-oh.
I'm just teasing. I know that you're just good friends. How have the people at the Academy been doing?
Appeline? She's doing well. She's researching more interactions between magic disciplines, and the double major initiative has been going well. Only the more skilled students can manage the workload, but still, it's much better than it used to be.
And Daniela?
They're still together, if that's what you mean.
Yes! Excellent.
I was wondering if there's any gossip. How did you know?
Well, honestly, I was a bit shocked that they managed to stay together for over a year. But it's been looking fine. They've been getting along very well.
I mean, really, it's the... If they're still together, that means that Daniela's grown and healed herself.
That's good for them. Maybe more so for Daniela, since Appeline's actually a very nice person.
Indeed.
Do you still have a grudge on her?
Not a grudge so much as, you know how she was always so hard on people.
She was.
I know she did mellow out just a little, but not that much.
A little bit. Little bit.
Not enough to overwrite the years of impressions of her, at least.
Understandable. She really has gotten better, though. And even I can see that's not due to Appeline's rose-tinted glasses perspective.
That really says a lot, so I believe it.
Oh.
Maybe we can all catch up one day. Sydney, too.
Yeah, come visit the Academy sometime.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Though, Sydney's also outside the Academy, like you. But we'll invite her too.
One day. But yeah, I'm all done with the shop stuff now. What do you want to do?
Let's head to the hot springs in a bit, then eat.
Yeah, there's a cute little garden. We can walk around a little after eating too.
I see that you love walking just as much as I remember.
Of course. And I hope that you've been walking more and not getting so tired after like 10 minutes.
I'm not super sure about that. But I'd love to explore the area together.
Sounds like a plan. Oh, I'll get ready for the hot springs then. Let me just tidy this up.
I reach for the sample elemental products to put them away. Suddenly, the satchels start shaking and rattling. Some of the powder exits the satchels due to the movement. I grab at one of them, but it moves away, as if being levitated. The satchels start floating higher, hovering just out of reach.
Sophie, are you doing this?
Sophie's mouth drops open.
No, I thought you were doing it. But that means...
Her face goes pale.
It's someone else's magic.
Sophie closes her eyes, and I feel a pulse of energy from her. A purple aura of her magic races toward the satchels, trying to envelop them. The satchels jolt, but as Sophie's magic fights, I can see a reddish-brown aura, just briefly. Sophie grimaces, but can't grasp the satchels hard enough with her magic, and they get yanked through the open window.
Damn it!
Her fists are clenched. Uh-oh.
It's okay, Sophie. It's just a sample product. I have a lot more at home.
But that means there's something weird going on. Something weird. I couldn't sense a person behind it.
Like it was supernatural?
Maybe. things like that have never been proven. And maybe there's more to stories like that. Let's change rooms.
Haunted room?
Yeah.
Haunted room. An hour later. I talked to the front desk. I'd rather have Sophie talk to them about something like this, but for logistics reasons, it was better that if I do it myself, since I was the one that paid for the room.
Thanks to the online elemental store, there are ample funds for vacations.
Oh yeah. Bring in the big bucks. Got a room swapped and the staff assured they'd check the rooms.
I doubt they'll find anything.
Probably. Fair point. The entire time, Sophie was grumbling over her breath. No one out magical arm wrestles me!
If they evaded even me.
Oh no, yeah, he's bitter.
It was probably a prank. But, what would anyone want to steal those elementals for? Sure, they're useful, but they're not unaffordable.
That's true, but I have a bad feeling.
It's true. It's not anyone that can just win against Sophie in a magical tug of war. Though she was just caught off guard, it might not have been someone that powerful.
It was creepy, though, that someone was sending magic to our room. I hope it was just random, and we'll be safe now that we've changed rooms.
That wasn't a human, I'm certain. It might have been a ghost.
A ghost?
Yeah, like a specter or something. Whatever it wasn't human, or even had a human form, so not like a reincarnated human.
She mumbles the last part very quietly. She probably doesn't want to remind me of that horrible incident we had on campus, which I caused. She's always so thoughtful like that.
Since we're here already, let's try to have some fun. Let's go to the hot springs and eat. We deserve to do at least that much.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to be setting a few protection spells in the room, though.
That makes me feel safer, Sophie.
Yeah, it's one of my specialties after all.
We're not going to talk about Wonderland. That's in the past. You want to know what they're talking about there? Play Death Becomes You? Neither of us mention it. Sometime later. We're getting ready for the hot springs. Sophie is slipping off her clothes, and I can't help but take a peek. Oh. I quickly look away to give her some privacy, though, leaving only the snapshot to save her. Her shoulders are so smooth and with such a cute curve. I just want to lean my cheek in the crook of her neck right now. But I can wait until later. She's slim as usual, but I think maybe she got paler than before. It was not because she hasn't been getting food and sun, though. She was fine as is, but when I was still at the academy, I had dragged her along hiking, so she would at least have that. But I moved out for the academy a while ago. You know how she gets, forgetting to eat and locking herself in her room with a library. I just want to hold her and make sure she's getting enough food. Maybe she's taking better, but maybe she's been taking care of herself.
Have you been getting enough sun, Sophie?
Do I look that pale?
Maybe a little.
You know, before we were dating, I wouldn't have noticed. But you're right. I realize I'm really pale next to you. I definitely haven't been getting enough sun. It's just more fun doing those outdoorsy things with you.
Oh,
It's more fun for me when we're together, too.
You seem to really like going out hiking yourself, too, though.
I do. But things are just more fun with you. Like eating together, cooking together, and stuff, you know?
that's the joy of being in love.
Yeah, I know. I feel the same.
We'd love to see it. Our robes are both on, and she moves to hug me. She's so cute. Being shorter than me, she has to reach up a little to rest her chin on my shoulder. I lean in and nuzzle against her.
I wish we could stay like this forever.
Me too. But let's get to the hot springs before it gets too late. We'll be spending the whole night together.
She looks up at me and smirks.
Come on, let's go. We can chill and chat more while soaking and enjoying.
She presses the kiss to my lips. We head toward the hot springs. On the way, we go to the front desk to sign up for a changing room locker to place our belongings. On top of the establishment-provided key and lock, Sophie usually also places a magic spell to protect our things. She explained to me that the locker key doesn't really prevent people that want to use magic to force the lock open. What I remember, rather, it's a charm that collects a magic signature and sends it back to a staff monitoring system immediately. Alice, right?
Yep.
I hope the new room is to your liking.
Yep, we've settled in well.
The rooms were pretty much identical, so it wasn't really that disruptive, apart from taking some time to move our stuff there. I'm glad to hear. Once again, my apologies for the inconvenience.
Did you all find something strange whilst checking that room?
Not that I heard about. Be honest with you, though, we've been having strange reports lately. As you might have known, it's supposedly a murder case 50 years ago, before the place was remodeled. Sophie stares, her jaw open.
Alice, did you know this?
Well, now that you mention it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you of anything. It's very public news. So many guests that come already have knew about it. In fact, it's why some of them come.
Do they believe in ghosts?
It's not my place to speak for them, but some of them have told me they do, yeah. Sophie holds her chin with her hand in thought.
Mysterious cases, huh? As magic users, there's a lot of phenomenon that can't be explained. Still, but ghosts.
Ghosts?
Maybe it is something about lingering magic.
Maybe. She continues as if the staff member wasn't there.
There is such a thing as the bonds from the dead to the living. The limbo, after all.
Like traces of magic left behind when someone dies, affecting the real world? It's entirely possible in this context. That's true. And Sophie gets in her train of thoughts. I don't always understand until she explains it to me later. But at this time, I know exactly what she's talking about. Unfortunately, from first-hand experience, play death becomes you.
But if it's related to that, wouldn't that mean, necromancy?
Sophie starts.
I was thinking that too, but I don't know enough to say.
Sophie chuckles dryly.
Maybe it's a good excuse to catch up with Daniela after all.
Sophie looks at the staff apologetically.
Sorry, I got carried away there.
It's no problem. If you're curious to learn more about the history of this inn, you can check the World Behind site.
Will do.
Thank you for the help. We'll head to the hot springs now.
We nod and bid farewell to the staff. Oh!
Thinking about digging deeper in the history, aren't you?
You know me too well. I know we're here to relax and enjoy our time together, though, so I'll try my best to keep from getting too absorbed. Sorry.
I put my arm around her shoulder as we walk.
It's okay. I like listening to you think out loud. And ghosts! I didn't even realize that when I was booking the place. And that weird magic happened. So I was a little worried. But maybe this is an extra feature of this vacation that we can't get anywhere else. That is hyping me up.
Hey. A mystery? Sophie and I slip off our robes and fold them together into the same locker cubby. After washing up and drying ourselves, we make our way to the hot spring outdoors. The area is well lit, though visibility is low due to all the mist. You can smell the gas in the hot springs.
It's sulfur due to the geothermal activity.
I see. Or, no. I smell.
Aha. Sophie just gives me a sheepish look. It's a bit unimpressed. It's the, it's that look when bad pun. I know her. That just means she can't come up with anything better. Make our way to an area where there's less people. I dip a toe into the water to test the temperature.
Wow, it's pretty hot.
Spicy. I slowly ease my way down the hewn stone steps.
Oh, it's not too bad once you get used to it.
It's definitely very hot, but that's great.
That's what was...
It can help ease my shoulder pain.
Oh. She stretches, and I heard a cracking sound. Sophie heard it too, and she grimaces.
This is the consequence of my bad sitting habits whilst working, alas.
Bad posture. It's killer. Oof, ow, bone hurty. We wade over along the side of the onsen, finding a spot to sit and lean back. Now that we're not moving around, my eyes rest on Sophie. She's so cute. Her cute shoulders tempt me again. Best not to think too much. We're in public after all. Sophie catches my glance and smirks. Uh-oh, busted. Look away and hide my blush, but she's already seen through me.
So cute, you.
She flicks some water toward me.
Hey!
I flick some back, but it's more than I expected. We both laugh. Sploosh. Oh. Sophie leans back, sighing in satisfaction.
It's nice here. It'd be easy to create heated water with magic, but it just doesn't beat the real thing.
Oh, have you tried it?
Funnily enough, I actually haven't. I love magic, but some things are just more fun when you have to travel. It's also the entire ecosystem. It's higher altitude and the air is fresher and colder. The combination is hard to replicate with magic.
Yeah, it's... The natural setting. Something special about it.
I'm sure someone is interested in that, but I'm into exploring other topics.
I make a sound in agreement. The water is slippery, probably due to the minerals. Feels like a special texture of water.
It's so comfy here. I can't help but think about food. Oh, I'm looking forward to dinner too.
Oh yeah, I'm excited too. They have some multi-course meals that we don't usually get.
I could really love some desserts. Like sweets, ice cream, red bean soup.
Red bean?
That would be yummy. I'm looking forward to the main meal. Soaking makes me crave something heavy and salty for some reason.
We'll have lots of yummy things together.
Definitely.
Definitely. We sit in comfortable silence for a bit, Sophie leaning her head lightly against my shoulder. Suddenly, Sophie jolts. Eh?
Someone's...
Eh? She stands up. The shock, and thanks to the mist, I only partially register that everything is in full view.
What's wrong?
Sophie grimaces, her jaw clenched so hard that I can see she's doing it.
It's that magic source.
Oh? She looks up, and all around.
It's the one that took your elemental charms.
Eh?
It's trying to probe my magic.
Eh?
What?
I blocked it just now, but I think it's gotten something.
Gotten something?
If it's a ghost, then what would it do that for? Though it seems it's gone now.
Eh?
Are you going to follow it?
Sophie sits back down.
Nah, maybe later. We are on vacation together after all. That's the most important.
Oh, Sophie.
I cling on to her arm.
You've really changed.
Well, when my work is now researching, it feels like sometimes I can take a break from my own curiosity.
Hey, there's something good about having the, being able to detach and care for yourself. Detach, decompress, and care, and practice good self-care, better self-care habits. Even if it seems like she still gets wrapped up in her work. If I recall, OG Sophie, got dangerously wrapped up in her work.
I think in this case, it is a case of safety, because it could be targeting you and me, now that we've encountered it twice. But I didn't quite get the sense of that during the brief contact.
I'm curious too. Let's talk about it some more. Like, not the whole time till dinner, though.
Will do.
So, what
wasn't really able to fingerprint it, but if anything, maybe that ghost theory had some merit to it after all.
There's the thought that it's not actually. Sorry. But she's not actually sensing a human.
It reminded me a little bit of traces of spells I've seen Daniela use. And you know how she's versed in necromancy.
Yeah, that's a thing.
They were covering their origins, though. It reflected my magic when I tried to probe it in reverse.
You wanna know why that's a thing? Play Death Becomes You. Find out. Reflected by magic when I tried to probe it in reverse.
Whoa, they can do that?
Block the back trace.
Yes, the way it works is like this. Imagine your elemental extracts in powder form are thrown forward.
Block its sand.
But if there's a barrier as the powder is flying forward, it would hit the barrier and bounce back somewhat. Due to physics.
Reverse pocket sand.
The way my magic bounced back seemed like that too. Maybe I'll make a note to tell Apolline about this. It could be something important too. But yeah, I didn't really get the sense that it was malicious. Even if normally trying to gain info like this is a form of reconnaissance for malicious intent.
Magic is like that. It requires being in touch with emotions. It's not good to be super rigid. Which is I remember. Magic is like that. It requires being in touch with emotions. It's not good to be super rigid. Which is why you can sense the intent if you probe deep enough. I remember learning that.
Indeed. I'll keep vigilant and try to sense it, though. Maybe we can catch a ghost if it tries to approach again. But, yeah. Quality time with you too, my dear one.
You're so kind.
No.
It's hot that you're so curious about everything and anything.
It's just how I am, I guess.
Oh. Sometime later. After relaxing in the hot springs together, we decide it's time to head back and prepare to eat. Even if the evening air is cold, our bodies have warmed up considerably in the hot springs, and I don't feel it much as I step out. We rinse ourselves and dry up with big towels, then put our robes back on. That was great for relaxing. My shoulders and back feel better. I'm glad. It was so relaxing. Now I'm so ready for food. Nothing's been disturbed while we're at the hot springs, so that's good. Whew, I hope they're leaving us in peace now. Next, it's time for dinner. The restaurant in the hotel is cozy and casual, with warm lights and wooden interior. The view to one side looks out to the nature that the hotel is in. Table for two, room 686. This way, please. After we're seated, I take a look at the menus. Well, this place only has set course meals, so it's just up to which one to pick. Any suggestions? I looked up before, and I think the one with the more seafood could be yummy. Or this one if we're in the mood for steak. Steak. We could choose the desserts we want, though, from some options. Ooh, cheesecake sounds good. You can decide the set, though. I think either the main courses sounds good. Let's see. Let's get the seafood course. It feels like we don't have the opportunities to eat seafood much. Yeah, the academy is really inland, so we don't have it that often. Though it's nice that we're working adults and we can choose to order our own food if we don't like what's in the cafeteria. Yeah, being a working adult is nice. I stretch. It's so tough, though. I just want to lie around in the sun. Me too, girl, me too. I feel you. I feel you. Wish the research would do itself sometimes. To hear you say that it must be getting tough. Well, you know me, I love what I do, but what I've learned is that I'm, overall, lazy. I want to do things for curiosity, and everything else I just want to do efficiently so I can get back to the fun stuff. Oh, that's a mood. The waitress comes by to take our orders just then. Ask for wine pairings for seafood and order what the waitress suggests. Pinot Grigio. Pinot Noir. Nice bit don't actually know how wines work. Well, the women in my family know their wines far better than me. I just know that red goes with steak. It's happening again! My cheesecake! What? No! Don't you steal my cheesecake, you fiend! I try to grab the cheesecake hovering away, but like my elemental charms, it's already out of reach and moving at a fast pace out the window. This is really the last straw. I'm going to find you. I leap up and dash toward where the cake is floating. Hey, is it okay if we leave our seats unattended for a bit? Sophie quickly hails down a waitress and follows me. Hey, waitress, our cheesecake is running away. Hold our table, please. Doesn't seem that they noticed that the food was taken. It's not about the food, but also, it is! This ghost won't stop taking things from me! After running out in front of the hotel entrance, I look around. Wait, Alice! Sophie, a bit out of breath, follows on my heels. I'm trying to probe where it's coming from, but it's bouncing my magic back again. Whoever they are, they've gotten better at it. Seems that it's been able to bounce my magic specifically this time. Like it was able to understand my magic deck better. You got a reverse fingerprint. Let me try. I send out a magic probe. I don't have as much control or power as Sophie does, of course, but I've needed to sense and analyze magic before in class. Well, Sophie did help me out and taught me more tricks than needed in class. But I still remember. It's as if the world is shown in a pulsing grayscale and I scan around with my eyes closed so that I can focus on my magic senses. There's a faint glow of light further inside the hotel grounds. Once I move my mind to it, it becomes brighter. There. Awesome, Alice. I'm gonna probe again in a bit. Hope it doesn't recognize me. Right? We head towards the area I sense the magic energy from, while I tentatively probe again once we get closer. Sophie nods, and I try again. There. Whisper and point in the general direction. It's the garden of the hotel, and there are various lined-up hedges and well-groomed plants. I crouch down and sneak forward, and Sophie does the same. I heard her knee pop. Oh no! A dog? Dog twists and squirms, and I have to grip it tighter and wrap my arms around it, not further trap it. It thrashes around a little bit more, but with Sophie preventing it from any magical retaliation, able to finally hold it still. Let me go! Sophie, what'd you say? That wasn't me. I frantically look around, scanning the garden. But there's no one in sight so far as I can tell. Even sending out a magic probe, but nothing. Who's there? It's me, you dummy! What? I look down where the voice seemed to have come from. The dog? It's talking? Yes, let me go! I catch Sophie's eye, and her mouth is open, eyes glaring, just as nonplussed as I am. You? Look at the dog again. Really, look at it. It's glaring at me with much more venom than I could imagine something so small could do. I give Sophie another look, my head tilted and my brows scrunched up. She nods, acknowledging what I'm thinking. So, you're talking? Yeah! Why aren't you barking? Are you stupid? You can see I'm talking, why do I need to bark? What about let me go, don't you understand? Don't talk to her like that. Alice, don't let it go yet. It might try something magic. I have no damn clue how this dog can use magic, but it's the one that was taking our things. This dog? The dog speaks in a low voice, as if talking to itself. Is that what they call it here? Magic? Very interesting. Sophie moves close and peers down at the dog, making intense eye contact with it. So, how can a dog talk and even use magic? The dog glares at her. Why can't dogs talk? And I can use magic because I can. Sophie rubs her chin with her hand, thinking. Suddenly she leans in even closer and points a finger right at the dog's face. Objection. You're not from here, are you? What's that matter to you? Because that's interesting, that's what. I can tell she's getting excited, thinking about how she could investigate and research. Now that the dog's calmed down a bit, it's not trying to wiggle and escape, though it's still glaring and looking grumpy. It looks pretty cute, though, now that things have calmed down. Get up, I want to pet it. Able to tie with one arm in order to free up my right arm. Oh, cute doggy. Fur is so soft to the touch. Normally I'm not sure if I could touch a stray if it smelled weird, but this dog definitely didn't seem dirty or smelly. It is cute. Sophie reaches out and pets the dog too. Unhand me, you fiend! I feel the dog tense up and it chomps at Sophie's hand. Sophie snatches her hand away just before the dog reaches it, and the dog bites down on thin air, making an audible click. Bad dog. Sophie scowls, but I can see she's just putting on a face, and that she thinks the dog is cute. She starts moving her hand close again, baiting the dog to bite it. Sophie once again pulls her hand away. Made you look, juked. Dog struggles, but its range is limited since it's being held by me. Sophie repeats it, her smirk growing as the dog falls for it again. Ugh, you piece of shit. He's so cute. If you promise you won't run away, maybe I'll put you down, doggy. Don't call me doggy, but sure. Wait, can we believe that? Promise you I won't run. Plus, if I put a magical ward around this area, I don't think I haven't noticed. There's no point in me trying to escape that for now. Touché? Okay then. I slowly place the dog back on the ground, gains its footing, and looks up at us. True to its word, it doesn't make an attempt to run. So, can you tell me more about this place? Have some questions? So you really aren't from this place, huh? Yeah, I assumed you felt that was obvious, even if I didn't want to say it. Let's sit, so we can talk better. Sophie and I sit down on the grass patch, and the dog follows. So what's your deal, doggo? She pats it on top of the head. It glares at her, but this time, lets her. I'll tell you if you answer my questions. Sure, that's a deal. You're right, I'm not from here. I used magic to get here. Before that, what's your name? Oh, my name's Sid. Oh, Sid, what a cute name! I pat it and put an arm around it. Where'd you come from? Came from somewhere called Shiba Inu Island. Oh no, it's filled with dogs, not these humans. Oh my god, I just realized. So, Quill Studios' first game is called A Summer with the Shiba Inu, and it stars Sid, the Shiba Inu, who returns to Shiba Island after a 10-year absence. Preferential, this is cute. So, is this your first time seeing humans? Yeah. Does that mean all the dogs on Shiba Inu Island can talk and stuff like you? Yeah. Can they all use magic too? Not this type of magic per se, but we have technology. Most dogs use that to enhance their day-to-day functions. Seems your humans have technology here, but not as much. Makes sense though, seeing as I've seen humans using magic to do similar things, such as communicate with someone further away. Ah, you mean like a hive mind ping or a world mind ping? We can communicate with the others by connecting with our minds if the other party answers. How do you dogs do it then? We have devices that have chips to transmit radio signals. Those signals are relayed via hardware so that it can reach across long distances to up to the speed of light. The dog produces a watch-like device. I can't charge the battery here, so I can't show you how it works, but project a hologram, image of information in the air so that you can interact with it. Imagine that it writes or draws a picture in the air with information you want, like reading a book. Or like, want to tell the time and will display the time for you. Very impressive. When you say it's out of battery, you mean that it holds a charge of energy. Yeah, it runs on energy we call electricity. What if that's similar to the magic charges that Daniela stores in crystal gems? You try helping you, if possible. Try and see, sure. So you said that not everyone can use magic where you come from, right? How are you doing magic here? And why do you want to steal my stuff? Truth is, I'm not really sure either. My abilities back home don't map exactly the way this magic works here, but since this is how that energy works in this world, I can access it. That's why I wanted to steal your magic thingy, since I heard you referred to it as having magical properties. I wanted to see if I could find out how it works. I stole your food because it smelled good. Is cheesecake good for dogs? There's so much food in the kitchen, though. Didn't you see that? Why'd you have to steal from our table? Because you were near the window and it was harder to sneak into the kitchen. Do you know where it is? It's so cute. I ruffled the top of Sid's head again. Its fur's so soft. But yeah, whatever. Now it's time to answer my questions. Yes. Actually, maybe we should go back to the restaurant and get things to go. The staff must be confused. Yeah, it's been around 15 minutes. Sid, we'll get some food for you too if you want. Sure. We can go back to our room to chat since it's getting late. Sid, have you been sleeping somewhere? Just outside. Leading to Sophie to whisper to her. Maybe we can ask if she wants to crash at our place? Poor dog. She could leave in the morning. Sure, I was thinking that too. Though we can't be naughty until she leaves. Yeah, I know. Turn back to Sid. You can crash at our place if you want. There's a couch in our room. That'd be nice. Let me think about it. We head back to the restaurant and I explain the situation. Staff offers to make a fresh meal and send it up to our room when it's ready. We agree and head to our room first. They had a spare blanket on the couch so that it's more soft for Sid. Was this nice? Sid stretches out. Sophie and I arrange cushions on the ground and sit on them around the coffee table. Food arrives shortly after, and we lay it out on the coffee table and dig in. As we eat, Sid continues. So, I'm curious about your magic, too. What I've observed, you use it for pretty much everything. Are all humans able to use magic? Most can use it to an extent, but much more basic. Alice and I happen to be more advanced magic users and went to the Era Royal Academy, which is the main research institution for magic here. The main difference is that we learn to understand and control magic at its core. We can push its boundaries and create innovations as well. General population can do basic spells like weak telekinesis, weak heat generation, and so on. They have a much lower range of spells, and the capacity is weaker than those that can go to the academy. Right. So that's why, Alice, you sell things like those charms that carry magical powder. You could say that, yeah. They hold more specific and complex spells that the public can use for charms. They still have to be manually created by a spellcaster that has the energy to infuse many copies of the spell, but still have more energy to spare. Thankfully, I do have a pretty big magical reservoir compared to the rest of the population once I trained up at the academy. Alice has a remarkably impressive reservoir, especially since she's quite physically fit. No one asked, but thanks. Sophie scoffs, but blushes while I laugh. Just kidding. You two are a cute couple. Oh, thank you, Sid. Sheesh, thanks. Sophie looks away, grumbling, embarrassed. Do you have anyone like that, Sid? Sid looks down. I don't. Anyway, thanks for answering the questions. The way your expression changed, maybe it used to. Sid changed the topic. Actually, I was wondering, could you teach me how to use my magic properly? I can use it, kinda, but I think I'm held back by the way things worked in the world I came from. Sure, but it might depend on how you're using it now. Can you show us how you're using that levitation magic? Sure. Sid closes her eyes and focuses. Bit of a wobble, the cutlery from our meal raises up. Becomes more steady. I can see that Sid has a pretty good level of control. That's why she was able to whisk the items away before me and Sophie could grab them. I see. You're channeling it through that feather object. Eh? Sid's eyes grew wide. If she were human, her face would have gotten pale. You can't, see that, huh? I can't see, but I can sense it, now that we're in close proximity. Whatever you have, it's powerful. But your issue is that you can't really cast as much because you're relying on channeling the magic through it only. Magic is all around, and your whole body and mind can be a conduit. Limiting it through the feather, it's like you created a bottleneck. Sophie lets out a spark from her finger. Of course, you can channel it specifically through places if needed. For example, if I wanted to shoot a magic beam with precision from my fingertip only. But first, you must muster and channel it through as broad a space as possible before bottlenecking. Not starting with the bottleneck. Alright, I think I kinda get it. Sid plays around with a magic levitation, moving the spoon slowly up and down. Yes, even if you're doing the same thing, it feels like the current is stronger than that. Yeah, I can sense it too. Seems like you didn't have too much to correct. You're a smart doggo. You just have to practice more. Builds like a muscle. I see. Thank you. Sid wags her tail. This dog's really cute. Some time later. It's getting late, so we tidy up. Sophie and I change into pajamas and brush our teeth. Sid stretches out on the couch and is curled up. And Sid looks comfortable. Yeah, she looks asleep. That was fun. I'm glad we took her in. I'm glad to meet her. A talking dog. Curious to ask her more about her world tomorrow. Now, let's cuddle. Hee. Get into bed and snuggle under the covers. The click. The light is turned off. A little spoon? Okie okie. Wrap my arms around Sophie, resting my face on the back of her neck and shoulders. Sophie grabs my arm and wraps it tighter around her. So comfy. We end up cuddling a bit more, but eventually switch to me, just resting an arm over her lightly. Slowly, we drift to sleep. Next morning. Good morning. Good morning, buddy. Groggily stretch and yawn. So comfy. Wanna cuddle some more? Yep. Gonna get some water real quick, though. Blanket rustles as Sophie slips out the bed. Oh, wait, Alice. Sid's not here. Oh? I sit up, scan the room. Sophie's walking around, peering into the washroom. I feel her sending out some magic probes, too. I don't see her. I sent out a magic probe, too, remembering how Sid was blocking Sophie's magic yesterday. That could be a reason Sophie doesn't sense Sid. Would Sid have a reason to do that day, though? After some more searching, it's clear that Sid's not in our room. Maybe she had something she had to do. Maybe. Let's just continue cuddling for now. Meanwhile, back in the hot springs, a different one than the hotel has to offer. In the end, we couldn't find her after all. She's gone back to her own world. Maybe. I was very curious about that feather she was channeling the magic through. It got a little tense when you mentioned it. You noticed too, eh? It's really incredibly powerful. It's more than anything I've ever seen. I'm sure that's how she was able to come from another world to ours. Kinda mad that I didn't try to inspect it more. Well, don't tell me. I stored a good amount of the magic signature she had. Since when we were chasing her, she didn't block me, so I had unlimited access to it. Magical hacker! I wouldn't have stored it somewhere. I was kind of curious about it too, since she stole my stuff after all. I couldn't pick it up yesterday because she was there. I'd been kind of creepy to her. I grabbed a flower that I had in my hair. Here. Oh, whoa. Copy it for yourself and do whatever. I'm sure you wanted to look at it with the lab at the academy. You know me. She grabs a rock that's sitting nearby. Touches the flower and I can see some of the energy being siphoned from it as she copies it into the rock. That'll be interesting. Maybe Daniela or Apolline would be interested too. True, I'd love to chat with them about it. You should come along too. I'll come for a visit, sure. It's a good excuse. Maybe they can come outside the academy. Don't really want to go back, huh? It's just that there's nothing else to do there. It's not really fun now that I'm not a student. True, let's get them to meet us outside then. I wonder how long it's been since Apolline's been beyond the wall. I feel she's been cooped up in the academy for too long. She would come out. I'll try to convince them. If they know we met someone from another world and that we have a clue to opening up an entrance to it, they'll have to come outside the academy for that info. Okay. Let me know. Maybe it's good that Sid's gone. Maybe we can... Yeah. Sometime later. Getting ready to check out of the hotel. It was such a fun vacation. Yeah, let's do it again sometime. When you have vacation. Yeah, I gotta plan out those vacation days. the adulting mood. I know. I'm a researcher. I have no idea why we can't just leave the academy for as many days as we want and whenever we want. Actually, now that I say it out loud, maybe that's too much freedom. We do need to be around the academy to work with the other researchers, too, and have access to the equipment there. Oh well. Definitely do it again. Maybe we'll solve another mystery of spooky ghosts. Yep. And maybe I'll come visit you some other time. When I'm ready. After we meet up with Apolline and Danny. And Sydney outside, though. Yeah. We're meeting next week at the Tapestry Bar. I have the, Sid signature with me, too. I'm excited to see what they have to say about it. I promise me you'll only bring it up after we finish grilling them about how things are. It's been too long, so I want to catch up properly. I'm looking forward to teasing them about their relationship, too. Wow, time flies. We've known each other for so long, eh? Of course, you and I have known each other the longest, but I didn't know we'd all get along with those three so much. I'm glad we've met such good friends at the academy. Working through everything together. I'm truly lucky. I pull her close with my arms. I'm lucky too. I kiss her on her soft lips. I love you. I love you too. And that was the incident of the ghost at the hot springs. Aww. Aww. Oh? Oh, locked? Eh? Oh. And of course, he's giving her that look. Honestly, I'd love to see I'd love to see them. I'd love to see them graduated and graduated, grown out of all the heck they went through in school, grown out of it, healing in a loving relationship. It's so good. It's so good. Gosh, diddly dang. Oh. It's so good. Dog. Sid. Play. Gotta play a summer with a Shiba Inu. It looks cute. It's got dogs. It's got dogs. It has dog. It has cute dog pictures, cute dog features. It's a massive bloody it's a massive game. Oh my goodness. Summer with the Shiba Inu. Never honestly looked at that before, but it's massive. It's 70,000 words, 30 Steam achievements, 3 main endings for Sid, 10 plus endings for all the other dogs and characters in the game. Good dog. Dog bark button preference. Amazing. You should try Summer with the Shiba Inu. I might actually try Summer with the Shiba Inu. But more importantly, you should play Death Becomes You. It's good. It's real good. Real good. See the story of what Alice and Sophie went through to come out of this with such a wholesome and loving relationship, having grown up so much, grown stronger relationship. And also see the story of Alice and Sophie. And also see the story of Daniela and Apolline, who have gone through so much. They've all gone through so much, and it's so good. You should play Death Becomes You. You should play Death Becomes You. With the goal of getting to this outcome. You will get there. And it is so good. And it is so good. So alas. My heart is full. My heart is so full. You should play Death Becomes You. You should. It's really heartfelt, really good. You should play that game. You should play this game. They're so good. So good. Thank you for watching. Thank you for indulging me on this wholesome journey. And until next time, until then.